Well, welcome back. This one's going to be more about update. Hey, what's going on? Obviously, we met back in May. We figured that out, right? And you've been through our VIP day. It's been a couple months in general. So this is really just to catch up where your business is at, where it's going, what are some things that you're looking forward to that are coming out, and what are some things that you want help with. So why don't you catch us up? What's been going on this summer?
This summer, some new updates. The truck is waiting for approval. So that's the update on the truck. And then we're actually in 5 different retail stores now. So we're in 13 different retail stores.
What stores?
Hy-Vees and Fairways. So,
Hy-Vees and Fairways.
Closest one is the one down here on Clive. And then we've got the downtown Hy-Vee as well. Just added the Altoona Hy-Vee today, Urbandale Hy-Vee this weekend. A couple other ones that I can't remember, but yeah,
Yeah.
That's what happens, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens, right? You start getting into a bunch of them, and you're like, we're here.
Yeah.
This person signed the contract. Like, this person's good, so I know we're in this one.
Right.
Yeah, that happens.
That's exciting.
a couple local grocery stores, so we like that. And
Yeah.
so that's the news on Mountain High. Then we did talk a little bit about Coffee for a Cause. We've got further with that. We're getting an office October 1st downtown in the Insurance Exchange building. So we're kind of putting all focus on that right now. That's going to be more of a hub to get people in. Our office is mine and DeMonte's. We're going to have a little free cafeteria there where we're giving free coffee so we can tell people about Coffee for a Cause and, updates on what we're doing in the community with that. So
Pastries?
I know
Are pastries involved?
So we can't really sell in that space. Just it's where the old botanical office was across the street from the YMCA.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Right there in the Skywalk. Yep. So that building there. So
Awesome.
So I was gonna say, I know we know about Coffee for a Cause, but I don't think our audience knows about Coffee for a Cause. So let's hear it.
Yep. So Coffee for a Cause, that started with us supporting a Stronger Foundation, which is a foundation held by my partner, DeMonte Stogner, which kind of started, which some of you may know, he wrestled at Grandview, but he supports education, Black and brown community, as well as, we're doing an organization where we're supporting young entrepreneurship in that space, as well as getting people jobs, kind of partnering with a different career, doing some career fairs and partnering with different hiring staff companies in Des Moines, just kind of doing a space for, people, adults and, younger teens, just kind of a safe space. So that's kind of what Coffee for a Cause is. We give 50% of our proceeds back to that foundation.
So how does a business or someone get involved with Coffee for a Cause? Whether it's, financially, fundraising, or personally, how does someone get involved?
So I guess we're making that easier with the office coming, but right now it's mainly through partnering with Coffee for a Cause, where we create custom coffee bags. So coffee is what's funding all these organizations. So various reasons to partner. You can, do gift baskets with us. You can do some private labels, some corporate merchandising with us. Just, that's how we can it's a fundraising conduit for other for-profit and nonprofit organizations.
So, for example, for us, we give out gifts, annual gifts to investors, different stuff like that. We would be able to put a package together through you guys that has coffee, has maybe a mug or a T-shirt, whatever it might have in there. And now we can send it to our investors and say, hey, maybe it's, like you said, that private label or whatever. It's got our logo, but then they know, hey, this is Mountain High. This is straight from Guatemala. Like, this is cream of the crop stuff.
Yes. So yeah, we're still working on the some of the things we talked about in the VIP day, which was branding Guatemalan coffee specifically, and then seeing how that is we're going to work with Mountain High and kind of creating one brand essentially. So yeah, but yeah, exactly. That's how you can help. Doing
Awesome.
a gift basket, you can do that to give back to your current customers, right? I mean, sometimes it's nice to let them know, hey, we're around, we're here, thanks for your business, or a way to get new business, right? You can send a box to someone with Black Mammoth. I know you guys gave me one of those. I use it all the time, a little ice drinker, and then coffee bag and all that, right? That's a way to get new business too. And then what we do is give back to current foundations that work with us, right? Right now our main one is Ellipsis. That's been our main logo partnership right now that we're working with since they, became a big foundation. They used to be, or it was Yes, and then it was also
organizations
Juarez.
merged.
Mm-hmm. So that's the main one right now. DeMonte isn't here, but he's usually great at the community foundations and stuff, and I'm kind of the operations side to it, right? Making sure we have coffee here,
Right.
and
you gotta have the coffee, right? Or
making sure we've got.
How is where are we in the coffee season, growing season? Where is it right now? Being what, end of August?
End of August.
Where is it, and where does it go over the next 4 or 6 months?
So right now it's pre-harvest. So the cherries are finally green. I know since I think we last met, I've been to Guatemala, and I was down there fertilizing a little bit, pruning trees. So that's kind of what you do now up until December, right? December you start the lower region, coffee growing regions start. It's ready to pick, right? So the coffee bean starts turning red. Although I think I explained this, the coffee bean is actually in the cherry, right, that grows on the tree. So you can't really see it. You can't really call it a coffee bean yet when it's on the tree, just because it's a cherry. Then you have to depulp it, and then there's 2 beans inside each cherry. But up until December, it's just making sure you're fertilizing, putting some stuff that's resistant to different diseases, and nurturing the plant, right, making sure it's a rainy season right now. And then, so I'll be heading down there in December for about a month or 2 during harvest, and then make sure, we're picking correctly, and not when it's too green. We want the bean to mature, and then it's that cycle. So it's for the coffee roasters right now, it's new coffees are coming in. So all the work that was put in through last December through April, I think the last pick is usually in February, but around April, coffees are usually starting to dry up. You're getting ready to export, and then they have to hit a certain humidity level before they can get on the boat. So that's usually by end of May. Come June, July, if the exporters or producers are on top of it, you might usually you start landing stuff in Europe. The U.S. gets it usually around August. So. New coffees everywhere, so it's a
big process.
Yeah, for sure.
It's plan ahead
and
wait
right?
patiently for something really good coming.
So you've got your farm has coffee coming in roughly about this time each year, which is also roughly when the cherries are starting to show or bloom at this point as well, and then it's just a cycle that continuously repeats itself.
Can I eat a cherry directly from the plant? Is that a thing? Do people do that?
People suck on it because it's got a lot of sugar.
Okay.
But you can't really eat it.
You don't want to eat the bean.
Yeah, you don't want to eat it.
There's two beans.
In
There's
it.
2 beans inside.
I mean, I could eat it. I could eat it though.
It'll come out, just like normal.
Just like a bean.
Have you guys seen the
corn?
cat in Indonesia? That's exactly it. Now, have you guys seen the cat in Indonesia that eats the cherries?
No.
Yeah, and they
juice it out,
and they process that.
Process it, and
It's
then
the most expensive coffee in the world.
And people go around. Yeah, people go around and after they pick the cherries out, right, and then it's been fermented. So the process is coffee gets fermented.
You'll skip that process.
Yeah.
It's just a different way for fermentation. But yeah, it's the most expensive coffee in the world.
Yes.
Wow.
That
Because people have to go through poop to get it. That's really it.
Does it taste really good after
I've
that?
never tried
Must.
I've
People are
never
buying
tried it. I've seen someone whipped out a bottle one time and had me smell it. I was like,
coffee.
It's good coffee, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's just coffee.
Huh.
I'm sure it's one of those things that probably tastes just like your coffee. It probably tastes normal, but the aura around it being out of a cat's rectum probably is what
This is going down bad
So
direction.
I do have a question,
coffee.
and maybe this is kind of one off. If you were to go to a cafe or something like that doesn't have your coffee, and you order a coffee, do you order coffee at other places, or are you just no, I know what mine tastes like. I know what good coffee tastes like. So when I get this, it's you're kind of just disappointed.
No, at a restaurant or something for
Yeah.
breakfast, I'm usually getting coffee because a lot of people need coffee. But no, I'm not the person that says, unless it's Casey's, then I don't really get Casey's coffee.
That's fair.
Or
valid.
a gas station.
Right.
But McDonald's coffee, it's good. If I'm running, need it quick. But
Have you?
I don't do Starbucks, unfortunately.
But you for me, I drink, I'm just a casual coffee drinker. I wouldn't be able to, I could taste the difference and, this one's smooth, this one's more bitter a little bit. But you, I'm sure, every single time you have a different cup of coffee, you can be like, oh, this. I mean, is this like something where you could just be like, oh, I know that this is Colombian coffee based off of the taste. I know this is Guatemalan coffee based off of the taste. I know this is a Arabic roast or whatever based off the taste. Can you do that?
It's hard with different origins, but you can definitely taste different roasts and different processes. Different processes like honey or washed, a little sweeter or not.
Maybe that's Walter's hidden talent. Like, oh no, I know that's Colombian. I know that's a Colombian coffee. But it's got this flavor to it.
I enjoy espressos. Usually when I go places, I just do a shot of espresso. You can't really mess that up. It's just it gets you what you need, the energy, and it tastes good. So
absolutely.
So I'm really curious about like the favorite part of your process. Like, there's a lot that goes into growing the coffee. Like, what do you really enjoy about it?
Like the production process, or like the process, like brewing process.
Any of it. Like, what really? Because
I should say, plant to bean.
Farm to cup.
Farm to cup. Yeah, like it's a big process. What's your favorite part of it?
I personally enjoy the production side. That's my favorite. Like my what I'm working towards. My dream in the future would be to just focus on production. Buying more land and then doing just harvesting coffee, making sure producing the best quality beans I could, you can, right? I think that's my favorite part, and then tasting the coffees, doing like different coffee sampling, tastings, cupping. So that's probably my favorite part.
I think that's awesome though. Like, it's tangible. It's right in front of you. Like, I get to see this plant grow. Like, that production side, it's like, oh, this is right. Awesome. I get to see everything happen, come to fruition right in front of my eyes.
And then take it a step further. We're trying to be completely sustainable. So now, I think me and DeMonte head down there in October to finish up the washing stations to depulp African drying beds. And then our nursery that I'm sure you guys have seen on our social media, we're going, that's all sustainable, right? We planted that into the ground. 3-4 years later, grabbed the cherry, put it back into the ground, and now we've got more seedlings that we're going to go ahead and plant back in a different field. So,
what is stopping you from fully doing that on production? What is the biggest hurdle to expanding specifically the production side?
Production, it's just investment, getting capital. That's, just like any business, you get a plan, you need the capital. And then that's what's stopping me. So that's what we're working towards right now. Coffee sales, different partnerships with Coffee for a Cause, and then utilizing the capital to do that, right? To focus on production, because coffee is a commodity. It's gonna sell forever, and why not? Get involved. So even if it's on a small scale, eventually it'll be large scale. But yeah, that's what it is. Capital.
Is it easy to find land down there?
Yeah, it's available.
It's available.
Yeah, people will sell it. They're charging more, but because it's they see the value. The coffee within the last 2 years, skyrocketed, right? Like,
so I think one thing that I wrote down, and I know we talked about it in your VIP day, and I can't remember if we talked about it here, but like, you talked to us about, there's 8 different microclimates within Guatemala that all have different tasting, different flavored coffee, and you're in a very prime market right now with your current field. I just explain that a little bit more and how it can change the flavor of the coffee based off of, hey, I'm still in Guatemala, but I'm just in a little bit different of a climate here, but we're very close to each other within a geographical distance.
So yeah, that brings up a good point, because that got me thinking, like, when I think it's available, because I'm thinking in my region, right? Like, but he's like, there's a different kind of, I'm working with, I've brought from Juarez region, so about 4 different regions that I've sourced from. Because people, there's a demand for it. So, just as easy, you could purchase land in a different area. But back to the microclimates. So Guatemala, it's under Mexico geographically, right? And it's got the Atlantic and Pacific. So there's some areas that are very mountainous, like Huehue, where we source most of our beans, right? It's known for just like a good blend that, most coffee roasters use. They really enjoy the Guatemalan because of the high altitude. You get those fruity notes versus you can go, closer to the coast where you just have a different yield, right? It's a different type of bean. You can grow a Robusta bean, which is more commercial grade coffee. It's higher in caffeine, but the taste isn't, as exquisite, but it's different, right? And then you can go to our region, which is a newer specialty growing region that's closer to a lake. It's got its natural dew, but people different. Guatemala's kind of known for coffee in general,
Right.
But yeah, people are definitely tapping into those. Like I can see Starbucks is buying from like different people that I know in the area, and I guess it's different based off weather, altitude, and how much water it gets and stuff. So
I mean, I just think it's interesting how you're very close geographically, but hey, I'm up in a mountain where the altitude changes how this flavor profile is. And being close to a coast is, hey, that might be something that you get like from a Folgers or something like that. Yes, exactly. In a high, right? But like that's what it is. So you got Folgers here, and then
with Folgers.
But being able to awful know that even in a one region where maybe I thought Folgers could have been made in any region, and it's just made here. This is the flavor. It goes. Yours is higher end. Not knowing that, okay, Folgers might be a coastal coffee from Guatemala, but it's just, that's the flavor profile because it's so close to the coast. It's commercial grade.
Yeah. To me, Folgers is like, it's grown here in our manure fields. That's what it tastes like.
Yeah,
but I
can't stand it.
I don't drink Folgers.
Good. You should.
You don't drink. You drink Mountain High.
I drink Mountain High.
That's right. Try Folgers just as a comparison. How important and how good does it feel, the fact that what you're building, what you're doing is around your family?
It's a good feeling, and that's what kind of what drives me personally, because I'd like to give, we're all about creating opportunities, right? Creating opportunities in a different country, in Guatemala, but also here. So, I think of like even today, I'm like, you're trying to grow in different locations, right? Not just one. And then we're going to talk about that container stuff after. But yeah, it makes me think like, I wish some of my younger nephews or nieces were a little older, right? Like I would love to hire them. Like we need people as you grow, like you need people to take things on, right? And take responsibilities. Like we talked about, you can't be everywhere. They're like in high school. So, they,
okay.
They're
close.
Yeah, they're that age.
They're that age.
So they can help be in the truck once the truck's approved. They could help be in the truck and say, hey,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to sell cups of coffee, or even if I'm in the back pouring it. Like, here you go.
Or different stores, like,
exactly.
With that
helping stock, whatever it might be. Yeah.
There's always, it's about creating, jobs, and that's what we hope to do with the Space 2 downtown, right? We need people to build boxes. We need people to do this. So we're partnering with different organizations, right? Like Principal or Athene, for example, or Wells Fargo, or anyone in general who we want to do an internship, right, or some sort of thing where one of those organizations sponsors a kid, right, and then teaches them all about their business, and then we can go and help them, let's say build some boxes for Wells Fargo, right, and then or even like a smaller. Usually it'll work better with a small organization. Then they can go share, and kind of pitch that organization to other, kind of like teaching them entrepreneurship skills, teaching them more about these other organizations that help get their minds thinking like, what can we, how are things done, and what can we do, and then at the same time we're paying them, right, so they're making money. So you're
building the next generation of entrepreneurs.
I think that's the theme, right? Creating opportunities. Not only are you creating opportunities through Ellipsis, where you're partnering with somebody who's giving more opportunities to maybe somebody who doesn't have them, and now you're talking about internships on a different level of creating an opportunity that way, and then you're talking about buying more land in Guatemala where you're creating opportunities there. And then you're talking about your coffee trucks and maybe some brick and mortar locations, kind of how you hinted at, of now you're creating opportunities there. Like that's the theme. And that's where Coffee for a Cause, you talked about it. It's all about creating opportunities. And that's why I think I just love the concept that you guys have and what you guys are growing towards.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what we're working on, is creating opportunities. And then eventually, like you said, especially down there, it means a lot to especially people down there. who need, it's the farmers, starting with the coffee farmers. The coffee community knows that these farmers are the people who make like the least money, and then you have to create the value throughout the whole supply chain, right? So that's why we want to keep creating the value, right, all the way to the consumer. So, and people enjoy buying coffee in general. And then you just explain to them why your cup of coffee costs $1 more, big deal, or why your bag costs $2 more. That's really what it is.
Well, there's a huge story behind how the coffee got there.
Yes.
And, some people, I think, just pick it off the shelf, but I think the story behind it is really cool, and that's what you're bringing as well.
There's a ton of people that are tapping into that, different stories based, and yours is a great story based off of, hey, this is literally farm to table, family grown business. Like this is what it is. Yeah. Like this is incredible. Others, supporting X organization, and now we're giving a portion of our proceeds back to these organizations, whether you're partnering with Black Mammoth and we choose, the Boys and Girls Club, for example. Hey, we want to make a donation here, so part of our event is going to go to them, whatever it might be. That's just speaks volumes of the character behind the company, as well as the mission for the company moving forward.
Exactly.
So when's downtown Coffee for a Cause? When you guys move in again?
October 1st.
October 1st.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a launch October 7th, where you guys, we'll invite everybody to come out and learn more about what we're doing. So.
Awesome. That'll be great. You nervous for it?
No, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, that it put some pause on the truck, which I wasn't excited about, but it's it's gonna get done. It'll be done with the launch too. So we'll have that parked out front.
So I know from my standpoint, you have DeMonte on, and now Brandon Wright is an ambassador and helping you guys out as well. I know some of those Grandview guys, and I know Kyvan really, really well as well. Growing up with Kyvan, straight down the road and wrestling practices together and different stuff like that. But is that what your kind of market is around the October 1st in that office? Is you're bringing on more ambassadors to grow in different locations and tap into different markets, Beat the Streets, for example, like you mentioned to us, different things like that. You're tapping into these other organizations and growing on a national level.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the ambassadors is kind of sharing the story, and people who have their own. We want to support. I wrestled DeMonte especially. And some of these guys, right? They want to put on wrestling camps for kids. Brandon Wright just put on a big camp in Indianapolis. I think there was like 1,500 attendees or wrestlers. It was a big camp.
Right way.
And he funded it through Coffee for a Cause. We gave him a bunch of coffee, said, hey, go present it, give it out, sell it, and, fund your, his wrestling, which is a nonprofit, and then put a camp on for a bunch of kids, right? So, working with people who have their own goals as well, just helping them, fund it, right?
That's a great story. I mean, he's giving back in multiple ways. Now he's giving back to your business as an ambassador, which looks huge. And then he's also giving back to a growing community, a wrestling community. I'm super passionate about clearly and Beat the Streets, but he funded his whole camp through your coffee. Like that speaks volumes of, hey, this is good stuff. Hey, we're doing things the right way. And I think 1,500 kids, that's a big camp. That's a lot of expense behind that camp, facility-wise, whatever it might be for that time period. That's huge for you guys.
Yeah, we love Brandon, and that was something special. So we hope to do different things like that, and not just in the wrestling community, which has got a lot of support behind us, and different organizations, right? Like local, and so that's what we're gonna do. So
wrestlers like coffee.
We got to tell the story. Yeah, wrestlers love coffee. I was just in we were in Miami. We did Coffee for a Cause. We did the Black Future Weekend, right, which is a Black tech convention, and we were there giving out free coffee and stuff, and we sponsored it. We were a bronze level sponsor, which was neat to see, your logo next to Microsoft, NFL, some big donors, right, and a lot of great connections were made there. Mm-hmm. And then since then we went to Arizona, met with a different wrestling group, some MMA fighting rink in Albuquerque. There's a big one there, and did some, gave them some coffee. So there's a lot of ways to help and get involved with Coffee for a Cause, and Mountain High, which was the mother company.
With beans.
The mothership.
Yeah.
The beans.
The beans.
What would be your big ask to audience, to people out there, to one, support the cause, but to support Mountain High? What is your big ask to everyone out there?
Our ask would be to support us, reach out to us and see which way we can work in and support the community, right? It could be a coffee bag, it can be a box, it can be, any sort of partnership. We can pull the coffee truck up, we can do, there's a lot of ways to get involved, right? Everyone loves coffee, and coffee is joy. Coffee brings people together, and we're going to make an impact with that. So, definitely reach out to us, and, to larger investment wise too, if people were looking, we're always open to side note. But yeah, we're getting into avocado exporting here really soon, and textiles, right? Because that's textiles is one of Guatemala's main exports, so it's high demand. So
yeah, I know we have
Guatemala. I love it.
You mentioned the truck. Detail a little more about the truck. Yes, it's on hold and paused a little bit, but why don't you detail out what the vision for the truck is? Because we know it and it's unique, and I know damn sure around the Des Moines area there isn't one that I can think of. So why don't you detail out what the vision for that truck is?
The vision for the truck is to have, obviously we're having one. We're going to focus on that right now, just parking it in different business parks, right? Just capturing the local audience, parking it in several locations throughout the week. Until we get a concrete schedule down. We're doing different local events like the Raccoon River Walk in West Des Moines coming October 8th. But yeah, our truck should be done by October 1st, but it's just going to be coffee and pastries, right? Different specialty coffee drinks and pastries. So we're keeping it simple for now.
Simple.
Yeah.
I love it.
And what kind of pastries?
Just some like Spanish pastries like.
There we go. It's from your aunt,
yeah,
correct?
From my aunt.
Yeah,
she's good. She loves
Homemade
bacon.
recipes.
This is like just family tree just keeps going, family on family, and this is what I love about this.
Yep, it's delicious pastries. Have you guys had like choco flan, which is like a flan? It's like it's got chocolate base at the bottom, and then the top is kind of more like a cheese topping with like caramel.
No, but whenever your truck
Can't
is,
say
we'll be
that.
there.
Go ahead and order
first
2 of
location.
those. I'll take 2 of those right now.
I'm gonna order 2 coffees and 2 of those and pretend that I'm giving it to somebody else, but it's both gonna be for me for sure.
Go sit over there.
Well, we do plan to park up here, in the future.
Absolutely. We'll be there twice.
Oh yeah.
Probably multiple locations. I might just.
I mean,
drive
you
there.
need like once in the morning for sure to get my coffee in, and then like midday, it's like no, I need a pick me up, right? I need an afternoon pick me up. Perfect. All right, well, I'm gonna walk out. Bam, I'm gonna hammer some coffee, and
You need that coffee.
exactly.
So you got a ton going on. How do you prioritize all these different? You got Coffee for a Cause. You got some future things coming. You got Mountain High. As a business owner, how do you prioritize and make sure you stay on track?
I've got a trusty planner that I like to write things in. That's kind of my main. Everything's in the planner. I like to check that a lot, and obviously a lot of phone calls throughout the day, and just staying on top of things. So I'm not the best at responding to emails, but I do get to that as soon as I can. So.
It
He
sounds
needs
like
an executive assistant.
Yeah,
I
there we
do.
go. It sounds like though you got some delegation there, where hey, you're not always out having to find these different events during these different things, where you got those ambassadors that are on your side too. So I think that's huge. Like you understand, hey, I'm gonna focus on these operations, make sure that we're readily available. We're doing these things. I'm answering the emails. I'm making the phone calls. But these guys are out spreading awareness of who Mountain High and Coffee for a Cause are.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of how we do it, right? We got DeMonte focusing on, most of the office and, the partnerships. And like you said, I got to focus on making sure people have what they need.
Make sure the coffee actually gets there. That's slightly important.
That's awesome.
So I think my one other thing, and I know you had talked about it a little bit in our VIP day, was the athlete thing. Like we've talked about wrestling. We've talked about different things. We talk about athletes. They have their whiskeys. They have their tequilas. They have these kind of things. And this is one thing that you're like, yeah, I kind of want to do. Like, I want to be able to have, instead of a Wheaties box, I'm going to put an athlete on my coffee bag. Explain a little bit more about the idea behind that ish.
I think kind of more, I guess the idea behind that is not so, like, we know that coffee is good. Everyone loves coffee, but it's kind of more helping out other people's brands too, right?
Yeah.
We want to, people want to tell their story like we want to tell their, our story. So that's kind of how that started was, for example, or it doesn't have to be an athlete, right? It can be somebody else who wants to tell their story. A musician.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. And you did say a lot about musicians and stuff like that, but partnering with people who want to grow their story, their own brand, but at the same time, you want to grow Mountain High, you want to grow Coffee for a Cause. In both senses, if it fits and they have an idea of, hey, creating opportunities, giving back to communities, whatever it might be, there's a lot of athletes, especially, we see it in professional athletes all the time. Hey, I'm giving back. LeBron James builds a school, like that's one that comes to mind, builds a school or pays tuition for everybody. You see that all the time. Or this person goes back and helps rebuild a community after Hurricane Katrina or a tornado or a disaster happens. Like, that's something that you guys can partner with. Hey, this is a cause. We're the Coffee for the Cause. Mountain High here. Here's your cause. Here's our story. Here's your story. Let's build together. And I think it's the creation of opportunity that helps tell and solidify that story.
And most of the time, these athletes or people in general, right? It doesn't have to be athletes. It can be executives. It can be whoever. They already support the causes that we're supporting. We all know that there's a need, right, for people in poverty or people who, need that extra help. The Big Buddy system. I used to be a Big Buddy in high school as well, kind of just mentoring, other people. As no one's perfect, but as you live and learn, you can maybe help another kid not make a mistake, or help a kid who made a mistake, let them know, hey, it's okay. Like, you got a lot of things to work towards. There's opportunities here. How about you go do this? Give people, some people sometimes they just need that direction, right? So
absolutely.
And then they could capture a larger audience, right? For example, LeBron or someone who already has a big following. Like, it's an easy way to tell our story and to tell theirs. So
there's a interesting dynamic that's happening in sports right now with amateur athletes that could fit this, where you're telling your story, little NIL, name, image, likeness. That's the brand of it, is telling your story. This, that could be a big ask for you in a sense of, hey, we want to tell our story, you tell your story, we'll do it together. Let's create a partnership. Obviously,
I got a high school team I'm ready to talk to you about.
There we go. I just
fits perfectly.
The wheels always turn, right? Especially on mine. I might be looking up at the ceiling. What's the next topic that we can bring up? What's the next idea, a good idea, or whatever it might be? But I think, man, I'm just excited for you. I think that's the big thing. I'm super excited. We're all excited because we see the vision that you have, and now it's getting to that vision, hitting those goals, and I think that time's coming, and I think you're putting the right stuff in place.
Not to mention delicious coffee.
It's fantastic.
Like the coffee is actually really good.
Right.
So
when you were here, the pour over, I was like, I was into that.
And explaining to us, I think, just like you talked about the taste test, the demonstration, like, I had no idea that, oh, hey, the foam that's on top, that's the coffee on the pour over, or the caffeine, sorry. Like, that's the sweet spot. Now, we talked about, so if I just have the foam as a straight caffeine,
just scoop out
the foam, we're good, right?
But awesome. No, I think I'm pumped. I could go on. Who thought we could go on all day about coffee? But once you make that connection, and then you make the connection with stories and the farm to cup, I think it's awesome, man.
I think at the end of the day, it's about telling the story, right? Because usually, you don't get asked like different questions that make you think, right? And make you, usually you're just so focused on doing your day-to-day things, so it's kind of nice to, take a step back and be like, okay, well, this is really what, you are, doing and what you're trying to get to, and different ideas, it gets you really thinking. So
that's one thing. You're telling your story on socials. Mountain High's got its Instagram. You have your own Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever it might be. You're telling your story there. So we'll plug your socials absolutely into this, and we'll blast them on whatever post. But I think if you guys that are listening, go follow this story. It's awesome. You're going to see some videos, some pictures of his nursery, like all these different things that are, it's just cool to see. Like I would have never thought to, hey, I'm going to follow a coffee farmer. Right. But now that I'm doing it and I get to see this, pretty sure I'm like, oh, Walter's up, boom, I'm going to like this, and I'm going to scroll through whatever, slide of 6-7 pictures it is, or, hey, there's a 30-second clip. Like, I'm for sure watching this because now I'm invested. I like this. Now I'm in. I'm looking. I'm watching the whole time.
And if you want to volunteer, hit you up as well.
Yes,
come down
definitely.
to the farm.
Yeah, we'd love some volunteers.
Yeah, so make sure to hit up Walter, follow him, do all the like, share, subscribe stuff that we always say. But also reach out for volunteerism, not only here locally with Coffee for a Cause, but for Mountain High down in Guatemala, as well as potential investment of farmland potentially down the road, maybe sooner than and avocado, which I have about 10 of those at my house right now. So count me in. But reach out.
Definitely.
Well, thanks, Brad.
Thank you guys for inviting me and picking my brain, and
that's what we're here for.
I'm excited to just now we can circle back in the future and just say, hey, where's Walter at? Where's Coffee for a Cause at? And
now he's got textiles, avocados, and coffee. That's the best in the world.
One thing keeps going.
Exactly.
Yep,
he's gonna put the cat out of business. I had to circle back to it. I had to go back to it.
Oh, Lord.
But as always, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, follow, share. As Stoy talked about, we're gonna post this all over our socials for Black Mammoth, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, wherever we're gonna be there. And then Walter's he's gonna blast those socials as well. We're gonna make sure that we link everything that he has, so then you guys can go learn more about this story. His website even allows you to choose like your denomination for your currency. Like I can choose this currency on there. So if you're an international person that's listening to this,
that's awesome.
Guess what? You can buy it too.
Yeah, we're global. So
there we go.
Global company, love it.
The preceding program was sponsored by Black Mammoth. Any awards, rankings, or recognition by unaffiliated third parties or publications are in no way indicative of the advisor's future performance or any individual client's investment success. No award, ranking, or recognition should be construed as a current or past endorsement of Black Mammoth. Information regarding specific awards, rankings, or recognitions is available on the Black Mammoth website, www.blackmammoth.com. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. Investment strategies such as asset allocation, diversification, or rebalancing do not assure or guarantee better performance and cannot eliminate the risk of investment losses. There are no guarantees that a portfolio employing these or any other strategy will outperform a portfolio that does not engage in such strategies. This broadcast should not be construed by any client or prospective client as a solicitation to effect or attempt to effect transactions and securities or the rendering of personalized investment advice due to various factors including changing market conditions. The information discussed in this broadcast may no longer be reflective of current positions or recommendations. While information presented is believed to be factual and up-to-date, Black Mammoth do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. The tax and estate planning information discussed is general in nature and is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as legal or tax advice. Listeners should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding their specific legal or tax situation. Past performance is not indicative of future results.